Spark Infinity. How are you? I hope you're having a great day. Today, I wanted to share another story with you, and I think this stream will be pretty brief. So, this is the story of how I survived the Great Hanshin earthquake of 1995. This was one of the most devastating earthquakes in Japan in recent history. Not to say that there haven't been others, there certainly have been. And of course, this one happened, I guess, about 30 years ago at this point. So I recall waking up in the middle of the night because that's when this earthquake hit. I have the info over here at 5:46 a.m. Sounds about right to me. So right right around 5:45, 5:46 a.m., I feel this rumbling beneath me and I can't find any stability. Like I'm in bed, I'm in a futon on the ground. That's how you sleep in Japan, or at least that's how you did at that time. It's a little more common for people to have standard beds now, but back then the futon was the thing. So basically, laying on the ground. I remember grabbing the front of my futon, trying to hold on for dear life because I don't really know what's happening. And I look up and I can see the curtains in front of the window, and there's lights flashing everywhere. Now, you can look this up. I don't know the exact explanation for it. In fact, I don't know if science has an exact explanation for it, but it's not uncommon for there to be light flashes during earthquakes. So, I think at the time we would have said the explanation is just, well, lights flickering and that kind of thing, but I suspect it was a little bit more than that. So eventually the rumbling stops. And fortunately, nothing in my room is already a mess. It was a little more of a mess after the earthquake, to be fair, but my room was already a mess. Everyone kind of joked that like nothing serious happened in your bedroom. My sister, on the other hand, her TV had fallen on her pillow. So if she hadn't woken up and gotten up when the earthquake had happened, that TV could have fallen. And those were heavy TVs back then, CRT TVs or tube TVs, I don't know which, but that could have fallen on her head. And that could have been devastating. And of course, our parent when the rumbling stopped, when the earth stopped shaking, the parents came out of their room and said, "Wait for us." And so my sister and I had obviously already found each other, and we were about to head downstairs. So we, who knows why people do things that the, people do the things they do sometimes. My sister and I decided it's a good idea to go downstairs. And little did we know, our mom's china cabinet had fallen over and all the china had smashed on the ground, leaving glass shards and porcelain shards and so on and so forth. So my sister, the family decides we're all going outside. But for whatever reason, my sister and I didn't wait for our parents. We went downstairs and we walked over or on top of the broken glass all the way outside. And somehow, miraculously, we came out unscathed. Our feet were totally fine. Don't know how. I'm sure our parents had to be a little more careful in where they stepped and how they left to meet us outside. So miraculously, things kind of worked out for us. So of course, it took a while for everything to start working again. The electricity, the phone lines, the TV, and the water. I think for about a week or two, we didn't have water. We used mountain spring water. So we would have gone and brought buckets and brought the water home to use it. At least we had a source available somewhere nearby. Not necessarily close, but somewhere nearby. And in the weeks, we saw cracks in the ground at various places. We were not at the epicenter of the earthquake, and that's certainly fortunate. And that was in the Awaji area where the epicenter of the earthquake was. But we lived near Kobe And so it's no surprise that we felt it because that's really close to where that earthquake hit. Now, I remember the news reporting it as a 7.2. Wikipedia has it as a 6.9, I think. So I don't know if that's a Mandela effect thing or just in retrospect, it wasn't as big as we thought. Not really sure. I was only in elementary school at the time. Weird experience, crazy experience. And I know my mom, that made her pretty nervous about tremors and earthquakes. To this day, she doesn't want to be anywhere where there's the possibility of earthquakes happening. So that's my story for today. I hope you enjoyed this. There are more conversations coming, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you as well. Make sure to drop me in the comments, ME, if you'd like to be on a future stream. See you again soon.